All right. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who do not know, my name is Nicole Miller. Got my book. And I'm the author of How to Overcome Heartbreak, Recovering from Misguided Love. I told you guys that I would do a series this week on why are we attracted to toxic relationships. So Monday morning, reason number one, thanks for joining, guys. Reason make me a special, I don't know what that means. Reason number one that we're attracted to toxic relationships is that we are insecure. And I talked about that. Hey Theola, good morning. Thanks for joining. I talked about that Monday morning. So the reason number two that I want to talk about this morning is that we have neediness. And so there's two types of neediness. Often we can fall into a toxic relationship because we either need to be needed. Good morning, Alicia. We either need to be needed or we feel like we need that person. Well, thanks. I touched on needing someone in the first scope when I talked about feeling insecure. So I'll start by discussing needing to feel needed. So some people are people-oriented and they get their significance from having others depend on them. They find that their identity is in the fact that they're helping other people and that they're being used to assist someone and help them. And that can be very deceptive because their desire to help is actually a good thing and their ability to do so is actually a gift. But with the fall of man, even our gifts can be distorted. So someone who loves to help others, thanks Alicia, someone who loves to help others can be overly helpful. They can give so much of themselves that they lose themselves. And all of a sudden, their relationships are all about that other person or those other people, and they don't get their own needs met. So that's an example of how we can have this great gift, but because of the fall of man, it gets distorted, and it's just a little off balance. So sometimes we end up in toxic relationships because we need to feel needed. We feel like we are not of value unless we are helping someone else, and it can be to our own fault. So the other example of neediness is when we feel needy. We feel like we need that person in our lives because we are of little value without them. Good morning, Kareem. And so normally the person who needs to feel needed and the person who is needy, they end up together in a codependent relationship. And they rely on one another to fill a perceived void that should have been filled in childhood. So there are many reasons that people grow up feeling needy or they feel like they need to be needed, and most of them stem in childhood. As children, we all have needs. And when those needs are not met, we can grow up without getting those needs met, and then we try to get those needs met in our adult relationships. Thanks, Alicia. So unfortunately, that way of functioning results in toxic relationships. So the second reason that we find ourselves in toxic relationships is because we are needy. Either we need to be needed or we are the needy person. That's real, Theola, and rejection abandonment issues definitely result in that neediness, feeling like you need something. And both of these tie into what I mentioned Monday morning on being insecure. So definitely recognizing those issues within yourself can help you work on yourself in those areas and develop healthier relationships. For those of you who missed the beginning of the scope, my name is Nicole Miller, author of How to Overcome Heartbreak, Recovering from Misguided Love. I tell my story on how I had a really bad breakup right out of college and how that relationship was my whole world, and how my physical emotional abuse, my father. Yes, Theola, definitely. And if we don't heal from those things, then we'll just keep on trying to get the love and needs filled in our childhood that we didn't get met. And we'll look for that in future relationships with men. And it'll distort our perspective, our perception of men. But as you know, Theola, God is a healer, and He is Father, and He can restore that in you, and He can bring really good men in your life to show you what you deserve, and who you are and what your value is. So all of these things, these issues, the neediness and the being needed and the insecurities, they all keep stemming back to our perspective of ourselves and our low value of ourselves. Yes. And I've been there, and I talk about it in my story. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Thankfully, God got a hold of me. He put me on a path to learn what true love is, and I'm still on that path. But I want to encourage other people who are going through similar experiences that pain, yes, our true love is God. Thank you. Thank you, Keturah. I hope I'm saying your name right. So I just want to encourage others that even though you may have these issues, I myself have these issues and have worked through some of them, and I'm still working through them. It's not over. God is not done with you. He has promised you to complete the work in you. He has promised a future and a hope. He wants us to have awareness. Self-awareness, I believe, is one of the first signs of maturity. So he wants us to mature and grow so that we stop functioning in these unhealthy ways and attracting unhealthy relationships. And God's love can transform us into the best, into having a healthy relationship and a better relationship than what we've had. He is, Theola, he is. So I do need to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Please check out my blog site, betterthanwine.net, my website, Nicole Miller, actually that's my email, Nicole Miller at overcomingheartbreak.net. The website is overcomingheartbreak.net. And you can buy the book online on Amazon if you're interested. Otherwise, I'll be back Friday morning with tip number 3 as to why we are attracted to toxic relationships. So you guys have a good day. Be blessed. Enjoy your day. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Kareem. Thanks, everybody.